as long as you haven't sold, it's always been a great time to buy. And today it's the highest
100%.
it's ever been, give or take a point or two, but it'll keep going up. And it's just kind of built in. It works really well with the system.
Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and wisdom of how they sold their first million.
This broadcast on Unstoppable, 5 Step How to Make Your First Million, it happened to be that out of the 500 millionaires that we interviewed so far, 1 out of 5, 1 out of 6 are actually in real estate in some form. So, do you think that that could be an indicator that that real estate is an easy vehicle for you to become a millionaire, or could be that it's actually we only hear the success, but a lot of people fail. Yeah, my first business was in real estate, so we managed to sell
Mhm.
over 5 million. So, what's your view? Is it really that easy to become a multimillionaire in real estate, or there is something really more between the lines that
Well,
people?
I don't think it's, yeah, I don't think it's easy, Harry, but I think it's the most certain, if that makes sense,
I agree with you on that.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I.
they say it's produced more wealth for more people than anything else. And
Mm.
really,
What
all
do
you
you
have to
think
do,
is the main reason, Matt?
well, it's never gone down.
In
It's always
London,
appreciated.
same. London, same, right?
Yep. As long as you haven't sold, it's always been a great time to buy. And today it's the highest
100%.
it's ever been, give or take a point or two, but it'll keep going up. And it's just kind of built in. It works really well with the system. One, it allows us to use leverage in a way that we can't use, like the average person doesn't have access to with all other investment classes. So right there, you get a 5x return. And I
Mm,
think it works with the system that's always worked is because what you're doing is you're borrowing a depreciating asset, your money, to purchase an appreciating asset,
100%.
right? And so
Yeah.
that works right in line with the system. There's a famous saying that says, don't fight the Fed, right? So by borrowing money to buy real estate, you are going right in alignment with the Fed, right in alignment with the system, and we know the system always wins. So it
Yeah.
puts you on the right side of that.
I agree with you, Matt. And the other thing that we can share with the audience is the following, right? I think that I always say, don't invest in things that you don't know. Okay.
Hmm.
So a lot of someone can come and say, "Oh, you can make a lot of money in crypto," but if you don't really understand how this thing works, um, don't go into this because I I hear a lot of stories that what I lost my crypto investment, somebody hacked my wallet, and I'm like, a woman with 60 years old was telling me this, and I'm like, but why? What are you doing with something that is highly technical with electronics wallets and things like that, putting your money there? But with the real estate, I think we all understand. We all have been living in houses.
It's so simple.
Somehow we
Exactly.
we we have paid
Yep.
rent. But the other thing interesting in real estate, I'm telling you because I also have a restaurant. I own several business,
Hmm.
uh, and once I own a restaurant, and I had my real estate business also back in the day, and it was completely different ball game because I remember that if I find one tenant, that tenant was for a year, and that's it. I don't need to worry anymore about it. And it's we can call it high tickets. I was doing rent to rent, so we're renting rooms, and some rooms was 600 pounds, some rooms were 800, 900 pounds, right? So I find one person, and that person is paying me for a year 600, 700, 800. Um, Completely different ball game is when I had the restaurant that I have, I don't know, 100 seats.
Right.
And I need to find lots of clients, and the transaction they spending 50, 60 pounds, and then I have food costs, operation, the kitchen, the bills, and I'm like, I'm not used to this. This business is gonna drive me insane. So
Hmm.
I think that could be uh like business sometimes is like girlfriends, right? Some of them are better than the other ones. So
Yeah.
I mean it happens the same with boyfriends, right? But I think that in my own experience, real estate is one of my favorite vehicles for people to become wealthy. And the proof is in this very same podcast. If you're listening this podcast to our audience, you will notice that 1 out of 5, 1 out of 6 people that drop here, they're real estate investor in some form. However, Matt, the other thing that people don't talk about is, the thing with real estate is that when it goes wrong, we're talking 50K, 60K, 100,000. And somehow, if you're in this business, eventually, that will be part of your journey because you're developing a skill. Become an entrepreneur is a skill. The more you practice, the better you become. It's like driving or swimming. And this mistake, whether you like it or not, will come to you. So what is your view on this? How people can prepare? What advice do you have for people starting in the game that this is something that I can almost guarantee that in some form will happen, right?
Yeah. So I'm of the mindset that real estate is super safe. It's really safe. It's the people that are risky.
100%.
Right? It's your operators, it's your property managers, it's your contractors, right? Those are the people
risks that you're taking in the deals, like trying to make too much without doing proper due diligence, right?
Yep. It's pretty easy to look at a property and within a few small math calculations, figure out its value and figure out how much it's going to generate as far as income. That's pretty darn easy. It's hard to mess that up, right? That doesn't take a whole lot of education.
People do, huh?
Well, I mean, I guess they do if they don't educate themselves. It doesn't take a lot. But where they don't do is they don't do as much due diligence and math calculations on the people that they're working with.
Or maybe the first 2-3 properties, they make very good money and they thought, well, I'm the king of the world. I got this under control. And then they don't do the proper due diligence. And then that is when the lesson comes, yeah?
If you're talking to this many real estate people on your show, then start asking them, what was the reason? Like, think of your deal where you lost the most money. What was the actual reason that you lost money? I guarantee almost none of them will say, oh, I figured out its value wrong up front. They're going to say, I got screwed by a contractor. I got screwed by a property manager. I got screwed by a business partner. That's what they're going to say. They're not going to blame.
That's what actually they're saying. That's actually what they say. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. I think sometimes this is part of the process. Yeah. I have made a lot of mistakes in property. Yeah. But I think that these have shame in a way that I understand it, well, we can call it very well. I have a deep understanding of that right now, yeah, but it didn't come from the sky, I make some mistakes down the line, and those mistakes, they cost money. So when I lose money, I learn very quickly, yeah. Then, man,
yeah, I mean, that's another thing.
Yeah, when you lose money, oh boy, this is you learn.
Well, what I was gonna say, Harry, is when you do lose money and when you do get those painful experiences, you want to make sure that you're walking away with the right lesson. And 100%. Sadly, people walk away with the lesson that, ooh, real estate's risky, I'll never do that again. And you just made a huge investment in your education, and now you're not applying your education to the greatest wealth producer of all time. So make sure that you do learn lessons and you apply it.
100%. So, Matt, but tell us how you particularly fall in love in real estate. Do you read any book? Any member of your family is an entrepreneur? A friend told you? How you end up in this? By accident?
Yeah, actually by accident. That's actually very accurate.
Same like me. Yeah.
Yeah. I was in the music business for 15 years and I did really well for myself.
Really?
Yep. And then
so do you play an instrument? Do you sing? What were you doing?
No, as a producer.
Oh, wow. That's why you're good in real estate, because you need to learn how to manage the money as a producer, right?
Maybe.
It's easy in real estate than be music producer, yeah? That's way more complicated, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, when the digital download came along, that kind of ruined the whole business model.
100%.
It's kind of equivalent to if people stopped living in houses, then what good would the real estate be anymore? It's kind of the same type of thing, right? So fortunately, we all want a roof over our heads. So I think we're pretty safe there. But I did really well. I made my millions before I was 30 years old. And, I lost it in like 6 months because of the digital download.
Wow.
And I just really missed my money. And I didn't know what I was going to do next. Didn't know how to do anything else. And then somebody that I knew that was very successful in real estate said, real estate, that's where your best shot is at making it happen. And I said, okay, then I'll go do that. And that's kind of how I ended up in real estate, just because I missed my music money.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, kind of the same thing, for me, what happened is my dad got sick and I really need the money to go and see him. I didn't have any money. And a friend of mine told me, look, you want to make good money? Do this real estate thing. I'm like, really? Can you make money for it? So I went literally for the money. Yeah. And somehow I enjoy a few things. Yeah. And I think that everything that I have, honestly, I own it to real estate. We have an international company. We do workshops all over the world, corporate training, and international speeches, helping people how to grow the business and everything. But that foundation, it was created for my business from real estate. We managed to sell over 5 million in London, and the thing is that what do you think, Matt, or what was your little secret or the little niche that actually you can walk through in real estate? Let me tell you something. For example, I have a Jewish friend of mine, and one day working with him, he bought a lot of properties in London, also in United States. And one day I'm working with him in London, and he told me, Harry, look, you see, there is a building high here and a building high here, and in the middle there is a property that is lower. He told me, this, how we call it real estate, we call it airspace. And so what meaning that you can build on top. And he told me, learn this lesson because not too many people know about this. Yeah. And this is so you can see the deals what other people cannot see it. So on the same way, Matt, what was the strategy that you saw that not too many people are seeing that allow you to build the real estate? And what is your favorite strategy? Because there are lots of property real estate strategies. No money, with flipping. So, and which one is your favorite strategy and why?
Yeah, I think that the one thing that gave me access to real estate and a lot of it was when I learned that you didn't have to go to a bank to buy it, right? I didn't need bank's money, that I could negotiate with the seller and the seller could be my bank. That was the big epiphany. And it was coming out of the music industry and I had to file bankruptcy. That was in 2001. And so I had a terrible credit score, so I couldn't go to a bank anyway. But if I found a seller that needed help, they were willing to exchange some equity for peace of mind, and I could make payments to them over time, and they didn't care what my credit score was. And so that's how I built the considerable portion of my portfolio doing that.
Wow, that's fantastic. It's similar. It's something similar like lease option, something like this, man.
Sort of, but lease option, you're essentially a tenant, right? With seller financing, I actually show up on title. So I own the property, and then
how you call it? Seller financing, right?
Seller financing, correct. And so the seller appears as a note, assigned or attached to the property, just in the same way the bank would. So now the seller is the bank, and I'm the owner, and I make payments to the seller, just the same way that I'd make payments to the bank.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.